Hello, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Getting Started Age of Sigmar magazine and this model. If you want to see more videos like this one before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and smash the bell button. Enjoy. So, this video, as we said in the intro moments ago, is the Age of Sigmar getting started with Age of Sigmar. Collect, build, paint and play, everything that you need to get started. So we're going to have a quick flash through. We're not going to go through everything, on account of the very fact that moments ago I did do a video and it mucked up, so I'm a little bit annoyed. Anyway, cracking on. So, what have we got? So the first thing you start off with is a bit of lore, and this goes into how you collect and build and paint and play. We'll have a little look. The contents, it basically has a lot of stuff in here, which is pretty cool. So if you're new to the hobby and you've not started with Age of Sigmar, genuinely is a good little magazine. I got it for £4.25, so my good old English boyses, or as most people actually read it, boys. We just pronounce it boyses in Hull. Here we go. So it's got a battle report. You've got the actual rules. It says gaming in Age of Sigmar, but it's the rules to it. It's the core rules. You've got mortal realms, some fluff and whereabouts, and different types of places that people can reside. Got some models here, showcase, which is pretty cool. Factions of the realms. So, in summary, really quickly, we'll go over a couple of these things because obviously we're aiming this mainly at a new to the hobby. This is the model you get, and I'll probably do a little review of it at the end. And it tells you how to build it to look like this. The downside I will say of this model is obviously on the base, there's a little peg for this thing to go into, the little rocks. I didn't like them, so I basically locked most of them off and just left the bottom one. So let's crack on. So the first thing we're going to look at is the Storm Unleashed. It's a good little picture of a battle going on. I'll try and move into position of a game. So Khorne, Stormcast, Fire Slayers, I believe the Dragon Elf people. There's probably some other people in the background I can't quite place. But yeah, that's it. Death Rises tells you a little bit about death coming about and fighting their old friends. And then we've got the factions. So, in Age of Sigmar, you basically pick one grand alliance, as you might call it. I mean, you can definitely just stick to the Caradon Overlords if you'd like, just the Fire Slayers. But if you get a little bit bored, and you've started, if you've got a couple of models for that kit, and you're going, right, well, I feel like I've got everything now I need, you can then move on to the other ones and you can play them in the same army. There's going to be some slight restrictions and maybe a little bit loss of rules, but you'll still be able to use these guys with them with them, that kind of thing. Obviously, there's quite a few in order. So, Stormcast Eternals, you've got your Fire Slayers, which are basically dwarves and have gone underground, hence the fire bit. Gingerbeard, so you'd think I should be partial. The Caradon Overlords, which are dwarves from the skies who fight with guns and such, so if you're shooty, you like them. You've also got the Sylvaneth, which are elves from the forest, wood elves in the olden ones. Ideneth Deep King, so these guys are going to be on boats under the water, that kind of thing. You've got the Seraphon, which are like lizard people, or well actually, in the fluff, they're basically the magicked, that's a great word, magicked up from basically their leaders. They remember them and they bring them onto the board. That's how you play with them. Daughters of Cain, which are like killers, basically. Bad elves that like to kill people, but they're the good guys. You know, is the point of perspective, isn't it? Then you've got Chaos. So, again, you've got the Everchosen, which are like basically the main leaders, the generals, that kind of thing. And they also fight with Archaon, who's like the big daddy from the last one, but he's gotten better. Slaves to Darkness, which is your normal human beings mixed in with other things. Khorne, which is Daemons of Khorne. Then you've got Tzeentch, obviously you can have humans and anything in all of these. Nurgle, you've got Slaanesh, you've got Skaven, which are basically rat people, but they can all work together if you want them to. You have Death, which are obviously the Death Lords. You've got the Night Haunt, which is the newer people. You've got the Flesh Eater Courts. Basically, what the majority of these guys do is that these are meant to have relatively lots of infantry, but they generally keep coming back, which is a bit annoyance for anyone else. Destruction. These are the fun ones, maybe. So you've got your Beast Claw Raiders, your Iron Jaws, and your Bone Splitters. Let me just see if there's a couple more. That's all they're showing here, but I'm pretty sure there's more. But these guys like to fight and have a mess about. They like to basically just fight and destroy stuff. Obviously, you can have the Iron Jaws, which are like armoured orcs. You have Bone Splitters, which are like the tribal... Wait a minute, I'm doing that all right. Tribal and... good gosh... unrefined people. I can't think of the word. And then you have like ogres on top of these beasts, which are kind of cool. So the good thing about Age of Sigmar is you can pick a Grand Alliance and you can use multiple armies within the same army, which is cool. So now we're going to talk about the collecting Citadel miniatures. Basically, this is like a little showcase of armies that you've got. It goes into it, but you can see what you can do with. I believe these are the elves under the waves kind of people. The Idenef Deep King. I don't know how I like to pronounce that. You've got some Stormcast Eternals, which look like it's possibly at Warhammer World. I might be wrong. Then you've got some Caradon Overlords having a fight with some Iron Jaws. So yeah. There's an army of the Stormcast Eternals. You can see a list of the people that you can have in the army. Obviously, these are the good guys. They're basically human beings that have been turned into demigods. So, effectively Space Marines for 40k, if you're not aware of that. You've got some Night Haunt. So this is literally, both these are one faction within that army, which is a bit annoying, because the next ones actually show you some good ones. So yeah, you've got Death, all the fancy new ones. This is an advert for them. Then you've got Nurgle. So this is Chaos, really. So you've got Nurgle Demons over this side. Then you've got some Clan Rats over here, which is Skaven. That's Skaven. You've got, I'm guessing, number 10. No, 11 is... No. Wait a minute. Case Loader, Demonic Steed. Basically, you've got a mix of chaos, which you can all have in one force. That's the top and bottom of it. Playing games, so we'll go to the next bit in a minute, but you get open play, which is you just bring what you want and you just play. Narrative play, play stories that are from the books and kind of things that are relatively new, but there's a lot out there. And then you get match play, which is mainly for your good gosh, tournaments and that kind of thing. So let's have a little pause of it. So part of this is there's a battle report. I won't go into it too much, but obviously you can pause it and read some of these bits. What it boils down to is they show you how to play a game, and we'll quick flash through it. It's the Night Haunt versus the Stormcast, obviously to reflect the new starter set. I'll go over it, you can pause it at your leisure. At your leisure, good gosh. It's good if you've just started and you want to see how a battle started, or if you want to dip your toe into it without having to go all in. So this is a smaller starter kit, but obviously you still invest in a bit, whereas if you spend £5 on this, you've got a model, you can paint it up. If you like it, you don't, then you can throw it away if you want, you've spent £5. But this shows you a glimpse into the world. So I've skipped over a couple of the advertisements, but what I'd like to do is show you these. If you're not already aware, and you're thinking about starting an army, short of the smaller box sets, these ones are usually pretty good value, so I can't vouch for every single one of them, but what they have, I'll zoom in so you can see a bit of them, but what it is usually you get one sort of hero kind of person, usually you get a battle line or one set of infantry type, and then you usually get either a big monster or like a chariot or something like that. So we'll have a quick look at all of them. So there isn't the Stormcast ones on here because there was on the other pages. So you got Demons of Nurgle, Common Bloodbound. That's kind of a good starter in a way, but you can go over that in another video. Can you, Nick? You've got the Skaven, Pestilence, Sylvaneth, Seraphon, Fire Slayers. You've got the Skeleton Horde, Death, Beast Claw Raiders, Ironjaws, and Green Skins. So these guys, which we haven't seen yet on this video, are basically like standard orcs. So the ones that you would have had in the old edition. Old edition, the original, thank you. The original edition. So again, this section is painted miniatures, that kind of thing. It's got a good little to teach you how to paint, that kind of thing. Or you can get an idea of how much you'd have to spend to paint exactly like they do. There's obviously easier ways of doing it. I suggest when you're looking for painting stuff, you go out and you try and find a particular good one is the Apathetic Fish. Might sound a bit strange, but he does a lot of good videos, and I followed him for how to paint Marcadians for Warhammer 40k. Check him out, there's a couple of other good videos and other good channels. So we'll move on to the next bit. So there was quite a big section on the getting painted, starting painting and that kind of thing. So it's really good if you've got no clue whatsoever. Do read it, and then obviously go and do your research as well. It says Gaming in the Age of Sigmar. What you've got in here is the core rules. So if you're just getting in, you want something to read, see if you can play the game, this is pretty good. So what it's got is the core rules, which you can download from the actual Games Workshop's website. You can use the app, which is the Age of Sigmar app, and you can get war scrolls to the rules. The good thing about this game is that you can get all of the rules for all of the models relatively for free. With the exception of the battle terms, which usually have some extra rules and stuff, so it encourages to play, but you don't need them. They're not, unless you're playing competitive play, you don't absolutely need them. So quick flick through, but it tells you how to play it. You've got you've got 6 phases, and how you play it. They have changed since the last edition, but there's not much. There's small differences, but they've clarified a lot of things that they didn't go into in the other ones. So combat phase, battleship phase, blah blah blah. Attacking. So there's actual pictures in here as well of models, always good, and wizards and how they do spells and such, so forth. And then terrain, and how you can use terrain, and then you've got like garrisons and such. And then you also have a battle plan, which is First Blood. I will actually let you see that. So you can do a little picture of that if you wish. So you can play your first game. And then that's pretty much it. It tells you about the war scrolls and how to read them and what they mean. And you have some beautiful picture in the back of Big Daddy there. And then you have some death there. And then that is the end of that book. We will go on to the next bit, which will be just quickly looking at the model, which I got free on the front of this set. So, this is the model that you do get. Obviously, I have assembled it and I have primed it black. This was the aforementioned stones, and I think what it's meant to do is it's meant to be like he's lifting them with his magical powers. Let's see if we can get a better screenshot, better picture of this one. So as you can see, this one's a guy, he's got a bit of a beard, bald head, always cool, bald head. He's got his little staff there with some lions on it, and some lightning. Hopefully I'll do a video when I've painted it and it might look good, or hopefully not terrible. One thing, I did post this on my Facebook page, and people thought that it looks like he was flipping the V's. Now obviously I could just keep it as that and remove a finger. Also someone said it looks like the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos, so it'd be cool to see him painted purple with some gems on his glove. Might be cool as a little in-game joke. So I think you'll be able to see the picture there, the model. It's quite detailed, to be fair. For a free model for £4.25 or £5 with a magazine, it's all right. You know, obviously you can spend a lot of money elsewhere on possibly better things, but it's pretty well detailed. It goes together pretty well. Technically, I don't think you're meant to have to use glue, but everyone in the know usually will use glue. So we're going to leave it there. I like the model, I like the magazine. If you liked this video, please put a good old thumbs up on it if you didn't, one of them, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's a lot to ask, but there you go. Goodbye. Thank you very much.